Yeah, Keith and Christina. Yeah, Keith and Christina here. Mornings and Live. We're going to talk the discipline factor. Of course, our morning show is all about giving you guys things to consider around habits and creating discipline. You heard Johnny, motivation's fleeting. Motivation is going to get you nowhere. Discipline will get you everywhere. Discipline puts you into a situation, then you just act. Motivation, you got to think about it. You're like, oh, fuck, I got to get started. No, just you create discipline. Small habits will drive business success. Let's get into number one, Christina. Part one, the common challenges and how to overcome them. Let's lean into this topic, Christina Flynn.
Yeah, so I think for me, when I was thinking about this topic, and I often do, quite frankly, with this segment, I was thinking
Yeah.
about myself and the shit that I
Yes.
struggle with and saying, okay, I have these opportunities to talk to somebody who has been through the shit, who has
Yes.
built a business, learned a lot of lessons. So, how can I learn from you in this moment while also giving some value to our audience? I know we talked about discipline a lot, and I know that it's critical and that it's important. But I know, like me, a lot of people are like, I don't know how to fucking do it. I can't figure it out. And the ways in which I know I've been challenged and other people have been challenged around me is a couple of things. First, this idea of like we overcommit. So
Yes.
you can be disciplined, but if you overcommit yourself, it's not going to matter because you're going to put way too much energy into things that don't matter. And you're not going to be able to step back to say, I'm going to control this. Because when you overcommit, you give everyone else the ability to control your day. Talk to me a little bit about that and how you've seen people struggle with that idea of from a business perspective.
Overcommitment's the easiest thing to do. And as an entrepreneur, you've worked with me now for a few months. I just tend to say yes to everything. And you got to learn. And as we talk about November, Christina, more often than not, as I continue to grow as a leader and as a business leader, you probably got to say no to more things than you're actually saying yes to. I know that's so fucking cliche and so common. I had this conversation with Laura, my partner, yesterday. There's only 24 hours in a day. And John and Marty talk about the power of sleep. So if right off the bat, you got to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep, you don't got 24. You only got maybe 16. If you got a wife, you got children, you got life commitments. Now, Christina, how much time do you actually have to get work done, to pay the bills and move forward? And I think that's what we often as humans and me too, get confused with. Oh, I got all the time in the world. No, you actually don't. So you tend to saying yes, you commit, and the next thing you're not committing to anything, or you're
But why do you
failing.
think we're actually committing? What is that drive
Because we
behind
believe we
entrepreneurs'
can
mind?
achieve it, because we believe we can. And I think we lose context of time. And I think we believe that we can just do it. And I know I'm the first person to admit that, Christina. And I know it was, again, I talked about earlier on the show where a few weeks back, I was trying to do everything. And like, no, Keith, just get the one thing done. Like, yeah, right.
So
One,
much easier to tell you that than to do it myself.
it is true, right?
Because I struggle. I struggle because to me, the biggest reason why I overcommit, I think there's two. One, there's this idea of potential opportunity. So
Yeah.
sometimes I think I get messed up with show up, like we talk about a lot of times, and not overcommitting. So show up to me has always been you just got to be there, you just got to be there, you just got to be there because there's a potential opportunity there,
Mhm.
which has led to me overcommitting. So
Mhm.
that's the balance that I've really struggled with independently in my mind. And I don't know how to rectify that.
Interesting. I can see that. I can see how you say that. So showing up to you, I want to repeat this because this is fascinating to me. So showing up to you equates to committing. So when you show up, you feel like you have to commit. And then once
Show
you,
up is someone presents you with an opportunity, you're there because there's always something good that happens from showing up. If someone says,
yep,
hey, I need you to speak here.
yep.
Hey, I need to do this interview with you. Hey, what about a panel discussion? Well,
So
I got to show up. I got to be there.
then I'll give you something that I've learned along the way. Then maybe this relates back to something that I've talked with you and even Melissa about lately, is just the idea of artificial urgency. So committing and then creating urgency around that are also two different things. So
Mhm.
commit to something and then ask yourself, how urgent is it actually? And is it hitting your values? So yeah, I think you always want to lead with, yes, I'm coming to speak for you. I'm coming to the conference, I'm showing up. But then it's to take some time to ask yourself, is it urgent? Is it urgent in the moment? Is it important for me along the way? I think about even myself here in the last week or 10 days. We're obviously continuing to develop the show and continue to tweak the show, iterate the show and iterate. While at the same time, I'm looking to launch the League of Business Athletes, our paid offering here in the coming days or weeks. I've had to really focus my commitment, Christina, on this. And it just goes back to discipline, I think. And I know it's so cliche, but it's just learning that I got to put this aside so that I can commit to this, not overcommit to both. So me
Right.
as a leader saying to you as a colleague, I'm actually not paying attention to this right now because I got to pay attention to this. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and I think probably the struggle comes from maybe a couple of things. One, not understanding what you're focusing on because you're not understanding what is the
Yep.
priority in the business at that moment. And two, fuck it, I lost my second point. Let's just go with one.
So when I think about bootstrapping a business and building a business, I think about it in the same way when you build a house. So when you build a house, you don't build just one room. Okay, I'm done the bathroom. All right, let's go build the rest of the house. You build the house collectively. Spend some time building the bathroom, you spend some time over in the kitchen, and the house comes together at once. Right. So you think about overcommitting to building a house. I'm going to get the whole house done next week. No, you're not. It's not going to work that way. Right. So I think the same way about when I'm building this business here, right? It's just you're building a number of things along the way, especially when you're bootstrapping it and you're trying to manage your expenses appropriately. You're building a bunch of things along the way. You're probably overcommitting, but then along the way, you're pulling levers, more levers and less levers to focus on finishing things. If I think about myself, right? I've been building the league for a number of months. I've been building the bathroom, building the kitchen, building the living room, right? But now I'm at a point where it's now time to start finishing things and start opening the doors.
How do you know when to pull the lever though? And what lever to pull?
Great question. Experience and focus. So I got a big goal. So great question, actually. In the old days, I think that when you have SMART goals, you have no ability to be flexible. You're like, no, I got to stay on this. I got to get this done. I got to get the bathroom done by this date. Yeah, but the rest of the house is suffering. No, but you got to get the bathroom done. No, how about we pull some more lists and less lists so we can get the whole house done? So for my POV, it's okay. By the end of the year, I had a big goal I wanted to get done. And then along the way, I've kept focus on that goal and I've pulled levers along the way. Look at the month, it's November now. I got 2 months left to get this goal done. So I make sure that I'm pulling the right levers along the way so I can accomplish my major goal at hand. Does that make sense?
It does. I think the part to me that I'll put on the table is that where my head's going. A house has a pretty clear structure. Whether you're building a house that's 8,000 square feet or 800 square feet, maybe not that big of a difference, but there's a pretty clear structure to it. I think where a lot of entrepreneurs struggle, where I have struggled, is that when it comes to a business, maybe there is a clear structure. I'm not sure, but that is less defined for me. I don't have as much. We talked today about mastering your mornings for building a successful blueprint. What's the blueprint?
So, so I'm glad you raised that. So, for me, actually, and this is great. And this is where it equates back to being the business athlete and being back into the gym. There's a lot of ambiguity in the gym. You have to trust the process. You have to trust the progress. You have to embrace the journey of increasing 2.5 pounds this day, a pound that day, 3 pounds that day. You're not just going to go from 200 to 300 pounds. There's a graduate. You got to enjoy the process. To me, that is identical to building business. Finding structure in that physical fitness environment of the gym, whether it's in your gym, whether it's in your head, but creating that structure, which then allows you to get into a business where there's much ambiguity, less structure, so that you can progress to the place you want to get to. So that to me is why I always say that if you want to start a business or get into a business, go and get in the gym first. Go run a marathon, go do something in the gym so you can learn about enjoying the journey. You can learn to embrace the ambiguity of that. A lot of ambiguity happens in the gym, right? It's like, okay, did I hit it? Did I not hit it? Did I get a full rep? Did I not get a full rep? It's like business. So it's embracing that ambiguity and learning to lean into that and accept that. That's what I find anyways.
I struggle with the ambiguity part for sure. And it's definitely the control or the desire to want to have the perception of control. That's probably more likely. And then the fact that I am really good at setting a plan. I'm really good at setting an initial structure. That's great. Awesome. When things happen in business, which they do quite often, where something comes into play, all of a sudden that plan, for the most part, feels like it just crumbles. And so how do you then make revisions without like shoving the entire plan aside? And how do you work with that ambiguity as it comes up to still be able to move that plan forward, but make the revisions necessary?
That's why I think the biggest piece of incorrect advice offered by educational business institutions is go do business plan.
Really? Yeah, never fucking matters.
It doesn't matter. Don't do a business plan. There's the soundbite. Stop your business plan. Get moving, as John Anderson would say, create momentum and figure shit out along the way. Iterate, iterate, iterate. Or go run a marathon, go climb a mountain, do something physical, get into your head during that experience, and then go put a loose structure and pace for a business plan. But to sit down for 2, 3, 4 months and put a plan together and say, okay, I'm going to go start it. The day you start it is the day it's going to change. You just wasted 4 fucking months of your life. It's true. So let's leave it there. Let's absolutely leave it there. If you're starting a business plan, stop it and embrace the ambiguity of the journey. There's your message for today's business and branding segment.
Make a business plan. Don't make a website.
Yeah, it's true. You know what?
All the things we're taught, we're like, don't fucking do that. That's a waste of time.
But it is though, because that's not real life. I'm telling you, go and sign up to run a marathon. And it's not about the marathon, Christina, but it's committing to the training to accomplish it. I don't care if you run it in fucking 4 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours. Go and put the training in to say, okay, I'm going to go run for 4 hours now or 3 hours now. Or go and do a physical fitness competition. Go climb a mountain and recognize that. And I'm not saying go climb Mount Everest. Go fucking do Kilimanjaro. You just got to walk. And then recognize when you get to the top, you're only halfway. And then when you get done all that, then ask yourself if you want to start a business. I can't emphasize that enough. I'm so bullish on that. And that's why I started the lab, because it starts there. Anyways.
Just if you're going to climb Kilimanjaro, you have to shit in a bucket on your way up. I learned from Keith.
It's true. And if you want to start a relationship,
I've never thought of it.
If you want to start a relationship with a new partner, go climb Kilimanjaro and do it with your partner. Yeah, Keith and Lauren, brand new relationship, climbing a mountain together and shitting in a paint can together. It's like, hey, honey.
My new relationship with Aaron involved us going to the London Olympics together.
Oh,
yeah, which was like my dream. So that was a lot easier than shitting in a bucket next to each other.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Before I say goodbye, though, November is coming up around the corner, nation. No month is around the corner. So I invite you to say no to something so you can say yes to a lot more. Where did this come from? Last October 31st, National Peanut Butter and Chocolate Day. On November 1st, I woke up feeling super fat. Yeah, super fat, because I was crushing too many of these. So what I did was I said no. I taped in my peanut butter jar and I adopted the month of November, and we're doing it again. So right now you're hearing me. Think about what you want to say no to. Maybe you want to start today, get a head start on November. And then what we also coming, nation, is a brand new, Christina talked about selling. I've been working on this for a while and I'm just going to swear about it. I can't fucking wait to start selling this. The League of Business Athletes, men, I'm looking for 10 of you. I'm looking for one of you, 2 of you. Bring a buddy. Going to change your life. 100 days going to change your life. True fucking story. Get out of here. Jimmy, thanks, brother. Marty, Johnny, nation, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Mornings and Labs, Keith and Friends, the only morning show to get your day started. I am rapping like the rap god right now. See you guys later. Bye.
Jeez.